We want to thank River City Insurance for being our episode sponsor and also being the home of the chair. This week in the chair, we have Teagan Quitoriano of the Houston Texans. This one was a fun one for me as I got to spend time around Teagan during his high school basketball years, and then go on to watch him play for the Oregon State Beavers, and now watch him catch balls on Sundays. Teagan was gracious enough to swing by the studio during some off time after his rookie season and share with us how his first year in the NFL went.
Quitoriano makes the grab, the rookie out of Oregon State.
Well, we got Teagan back. Typically, I don't announce the people, but seeing that we screwed up the first time, we asked Teag to come back because we lost his audio. He was like the second interview that I had done almost a year ago. And unfortunately, we had some technical things happen, and we lost the audio file, which is why I never put the episode out.
You just wanted me to come back, man.
And that's, yeah, exactly. That was my way of getting him back, was saying that lost the file. No, excited to have Teagan back after his first season in the NFL, and thought it'd be cool to chat with him about what that was like. And also we'll kind of touch back on some stuff that we had in the first episode, which was just a few days after he had gotten drafted to the Houston Texans. And we spoke on kind of what that draft process and the combine process was like. So we'll touch a little bit on that. So yeah, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
I didn't know if me losing the file or you becoming this NFL player that catches touchdowns, maybe you wouldn't revisit.
Oh, come on, man.
But yeah, man, let's see. I'm trying to think. Maybe start with, if you can remember some of the stuff, we'll start with kind of that combine draft process and share with the people watching or listening, what that really looks like. Like we were talking about earlier, it's easy to see the stuff that they show on TV, which is you guys running around catching balls and doing bench press. But I know there's a lot more to it than that. Mm-hmm. So if you want to kind of jump into what that process really looks like.
It's just, like you said, when you go there, you're expecting, man, we're going to run, we're going to work out, do some bench press, and then go home. Well, man, I was there for, I think it was like 5 days, something like that. And every day, the workout's on the last day. So you work out and then you go home, basically. So it's like those 4 days before that, you're like interviews every night for like 4 hours straight. You're interviewing with every team. Medical, doing a bunch of medical tests. Like for me, like I got banged up like a little bit in college, so I had my whole body X-rayed. I had 2 MRIs done. I was at the hospital for like 8 hours straight.
That's what it was. When we talked last time, there was something with the medical part where you were like, "Is this just like a mental test?"
Yes, I thought. I still to this day I think like, man, they probably were just trying to see if I would break or I would snap and like yell at like a hospital person, because I was in a waiting room for 3 hours straight, just waiting there, and with a bunch of other dudes. Like there wasn't even enough chairs. Like dudes were just falling asleep on the ground. Like it was brutal. So yeah, man, I had to go through all that. Got all my X-rays. After I get done my X-rays, they take me out and they put me right back into a different waiting area. And I'm waiting there for like another hour straight. And then they bring me back. And they bring me back into an X-ray room. They're like, "Oh, we got to get one more picture of your chest." I'm like, "Dude, you already X-rayed my whole body." So they're like, "We got to get one more picture of your chest." So like, I get ready. I'm literally just like laying, about to get my chest X-rayed, and the guy's like, "Wait, hold on a second. He goes back, and 5 minutes later he comes in. He's like, "Oh, never mind. No, we don't need a picture of your chest." We don't need an extra picture. So sends me back out into that waiting room. Well, when I got called into the room, some guy like got put into that same waiting room, and then he ended up taking my chair. So now when I come back out, there's no chairs for me to sit in. So now I have to stand for like another 30 minutes, just like standing up, like just waiting in this room to get called again. Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. You know, you go very little sleep. I mean, the meetings end at like 10 p.m. and then after that I would have to meet with my trainer to go over the workouts, move around a little bit, get my body worked on a little bit. And that wouldn't get done until like, that'd be another hour at least. So I was going to bed at like 12:30 every night. And I'd wake up at like 6 o'clock, 6:30. So, you know. So
you said the stuff we see on ESPN of running, catching, weightlifting, that's just the last day?
That's the last day. That's the last thing you do.
So everyone, when we watch the combine on TV and we're watching that stuff, you guys had already been there a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is literally like you do that, and after you're done with all of it, you're just like you just feel so good. Like you have like some pressure off your shoulders. You're like, man, I got that over with. I mean, for me, I didn't have the greatest combine, so like I was like kind of pissed off, but like I was still like, oh man, it's over. Like I got through that. Like I did decently. Like so it's that. Yeah, that last day feels good, but yeah, that whole week leading up to it, like the people are just like the schedule is just boom, 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 boom. Like you have so much stuff every single day. You have scouts that are like leading you through everything, like with you at all times. So it's like you're trying to be on your best behavior. Mm-hmm. Which I mean, I was just being me. Like I wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
I did the first, I think it was the second night. The second night I woke up, I slept past my alarm and I had a drug test in the morning. So I go, one of the scouts calls me like 30 minutes after I was supposed to wake up, maybe even later than that, like an hour after I was supposed to wake up. Calls me and it's like, hey, why are you not down? And it was like, I think it was a Bear scout. And he was like, he's like, why are you not down getting your drug test? So then I walked down there, like my hair's all messed up. Like I literally rolled out of bed. Like hopefully I brushed my teeth. I don't even know if I like got down there as fast as I could. So I just looked like a mess. And I'm the last person waiting to get their drug test. To get the drug test. I do that. This is the same day we're doing all of our interviews, like our not our interviews with the coaches, but like our combine interviews, like with the media. So like on all my interviews, like my hair is like all like sticking up, like I have bed head, like I just look like I just rolled out of bed. So it was pretty funny. After that, I was like, man, I don't know if Chicago's going to draft me.
So do you get any kind of feedback from the team? Like when you do the combine, is there any kind of like, they thought this, they thought that, or is it just like crickets? Kind
of. I mean, a lot of it you get from your agents. Like your agent will call you or text you and be like, hey, I just spoke to this team and like they really like you. Okay. But you know, you do your interview with the team and then sometimes the coach will be like, hey, I've watched your film. I really like how you play. You know, I mean, but they're not the GMs. Like they're not going to tell you we're going to take you, you know,
right.
Like they don't have that. That's above their pay grade. So,
right.
But they'll tell you like, yeah, we like you. And then you'll get like some interviews will be like, oh, me and this guy like have chemistry, you know, like when you talk. So you're like, oh, this is probably good. I did pretty well and that was a good chance I could get drafted there. And you look at like what kind of offense people run, you know. You're like, oh, I probably fit into that pretty well. Mm-hmm. And like if all that clicks, then you kind of have a good feeling. Like I had a good feeling that Houston liked me a lot.
Last time we spoke, I feel like you had talked about that there was like an investigator or something person that like someone said like, hey, this guy's mental toughness is really well. Oh, what was that?
It was, so they make you do these tests, like they're computer tests, and they're like answering questions and stuff. And I think they're so stupid. Like, I think they're the dumbest things ever. But they make you answer these questions, and it's like that you have a mental toughness grade, and you have like I don't know, it's like your characteristics, like your personality characteristics type of stuff. And I think I scored like a 99 or 98 on mental toughness, which was good, but I think those are just trash, honestly. Like, if you're not going to draft me because of some internet test that I took, like, don't draft me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just save us all, and just don't draft me.
Yeah. Were the questions weird on there? Or did it make sense to what?
I don't think they were any weird. It was not about football.
Okay.
It was about just like normal things.
Okay.
I can't remember any of the questions really.
Were they like situational? Where it was
yeah,
like,
some of them were. Yeah.
Would you do this or do that? Or?
Yeah, some of them were like that, and some of that stuff was about football. Like, if this happened in football, what would you do? Like if you weren't getting as many touches as you wanted, would you go? Would you work harder, or would you talk to the coach, or would you do stuff like that? You know, but. To be honest, I kind of just cruised through those, sped through those fast as I could. I was like, man, I hate these.
Work harder. Work harder.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So after the combine process, were you feeling, comfortable, or were you feeling like, yeah, I might get drafted here? Or did you, because you said you didn't have the best combine, or were you feeling like maybe that wasn't a good enough showing?
No, well, when I was coming out, I thought that there was a really good chance I was going to get drafted just based off my film 100%, like without doing the combine. So going into it, I was like, if I do good at this, I'll raise my stock. So after the combine, I was like, man, like I did decently. Like, I wouldn't say I did bad, but I didn't do great in the field workout. And so after it, I was like, man, I didn't raise my stock at all. Like, I don't think I hurt myself, but I didn't raise my stock at all. And that was the whole goal of that entire process, was to raise my stock. So I didn't feel great coming out of the combine, just because that was my whole goal, was to raise my stock. But I had a good pro day, which is, I don't know if you know what pro day is. It's basically the same thing. It's basically a combine, but you do it at your school, at your college.
Yeah.
So, but I had a good pro day. So after my pro day, I was pumped. I was ready for the draft.
And pro day, that's at your school, and is your quarterback throwing to you?
A college quarterback. Yeah.
Okay.
So my guy Tristan Jebbia, he actually just transferred to Ohio State from Oregon State.
Oh, okay.
But he threw to me on my pro day. He did a great job.
Okay. So there's more comfort there, because typically you're knowing who's throwing. Well,
there was a rule change this year. So usually the college quarterback can't throw to you. Usually it has to be either a guy that's coming out, like that's trying to go to the league, or a coach will throw, like one of the scouts or the coaches will throw to you.
Okay.
But they just made a rule that they'll let the college quarterback throw to you if there's no quarterback, which was nice. Which was nice, honestly. Like, first of all, that should have never been a rule.
Seems like it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But that really helped. He did really well too. So like, he was throwing dimes to everybody. I was like, dang, he really came to play.
Yeah. So, do some players elect not to do a comp? Like, if you get invited, does anyone ever say, I don't want to go, and risk that maybe my stock goes down? Or is it like, you go if you're invited to the combine?
No one ever doesn't go.
Okay.
Like, there's, like, for me, I only did bench press and the field workout. So like I ran routes, and I hit the one-man sled, that type of stuff. Did the gauntlet, the gauntlet when you run down the line, catch.
Yep.
I did that. That's all I did. I didn't do I didn't run the 40. I didn't do vertical or broad or the L drill and the 3-cone. I didn't do that at all. I banged my hip up, my hip flexor in training, And so I just wasn't able to train it that well. So I didn't want to. I didn't want to go out there and run a bad time. Yeah.
So those are all things that each individual player are electing to do.
Yeah, you can there's guys that only did the field work. There's guys that didn't do anything. They literally just went there, did the interviews, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to do it.
Okay.
You don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Okay. So everything we're seeing people doing,
but you gotta if you get invited to the combine, like you got to go and do the interviews.
Yeah.
You got to interview with the teams. I mean, every team's going to be there. Everyone's going to be there. Like I mean, that's like the NFL combine is like that's like the biggest thing for guys that are going to the league.
Okay. So you can go and just interview and that's it. Like if you don't want to do anything physical.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, and if you're injured too, you couldn't do anything physical anyways.
Yeah.
So anything we see the guys doing, that's because that person thinks this might help my stock. Otherwise they could choose not to. Yeah. Like I didn't know that. I didn't know you could pick and choose which things. Yeah. I thought you like, here's what we do here. You have to do each of them. So,
no, you could pick and choose. And then if for me, I did bench press at the combine and I did pretty good. So I didn't even do it at the pro day. So once you go to pro day, you can pick and choose too. So I did all my other stuff at the pro day. So I ran my 40 at the pro day. I did my agility at the pro day. And I did my jumps at the pro day too.
And pro days, like do you have to have enough attention on you to even warrant a pro day?
No. Anyone coming out of college anyone that played on the football team and is done with college, they can do the pro day. Even if they're 3 years removed, they can go and do the pro day. But they would have to ask the coach. So let's say if I was like 3 years removed and I wasn't in the league, I could go. I would have to go up to Coach Smith and be like, "Hey, can I do your guys' pro day?" And then if he said yes, then yeah, you can. I would be able to just go in there, run the 40, do everything, do the field work, boom. You know.
Yeah. And then when you do that, like, then are you or your agent? Are they the ones saying, "Hey, Teag's doing his pro day on this day. Who wants to come?" Like, is then the NFL teams go, "Oh yeah, I want to go to that," or how does that? Or is there any NFL people there?
There's a bunch of. I think 30 teams were at my pro day.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, a lot of NFL teams are there.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily sure how did they do it. I'm sure the scouts are like, "Oh, I want to see this player," and then the school is like, "Okay, well, our pro day's on this day."
Okay.
I'm not necessarily sure how it goes down like that, but
was there anyone else at the pro day on the team other than you, or were you the only one?
Yeah, there was I think around 10 guys.
Okay.
And all of us got at least got a rookie minicamp invite. Okay. Everyone that was there, I'm pretty sure.
So
not everyone, but close to everyone.
When the school doesn't say, "Hey, this is Teagan's pro day." The school says,
"This is Oregon State's pro day."
This is Oregon State's.
It's the school, yeah.
Okay, so there's one pro day for Oregon State football, and then you got to show up for that day.
Yeah, I can't just show up whenever I want. No, okay. I have to. My pro day was scheduled. I think it was March 30th or March 31st. It was like right at the end. It was like the last pro day out of everyone too, and yeah, it was that day, and I had to be there that day.
Okay. Funny side note, speaking of Coach Smith, when we were talking earlier and I was saying that I was with McShane and Sam and AJ Lepre and my wife and a few others, we went to watch that St. Martin's Western Oregon game.
Yeah.
And Adrian and I, our favorite pizza place is in Monmouth, and it's called Yeasty Beastie. And I've had the owner on the podcast here. And so I say to them, I'm like, "Yo, do you guys want to go to our favorite pizza spot?" And we've taken many people there for the first time, and we're like, it's the best pizza we've ever had, and it's the best ranch
really
ever.
It's in Monmouth?
In Monmouth. And it's right by the campus. It's right on their little main street. And it's right by campus. And so they're like, "Yeah, let's go over there after the game." and we're touting it, we're gassing it up, best pizza ever and best ranch ever, whatever. So we go, and fortunately they're all like, yeah, this is pretty good. And one person was like, yep, this is the best ranch I've ever had. And then I think Mike was like, yo, there's Coach Smith. And so look over, and Coach Smith, his wife, and I think 2 kids were up there ordering. And, I almost went over there and said something. Actually, I was going to bring you up.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, man, did they drive from Corvallis to little old Yeasty Beastie because someone said, hey, this pizza's amazing? So anyways, I messaged the owner. I was like, yo, Beavers football coach is in your establishment. You should probably, I don't know, like make sure he has a good time, or, especially these days, everyone's watching what he's doing, all the success he's having. And so that made me, it was a trip. I've never seen him in person, but I was just like, I cannot believe he probably a little family night, drove all the way from Corvallis to Monmouth to eat some pizza at Yeasty.
There's this one pizza spot in Corvallis called American Dream Pizza, and it's pretty good. But it was like right when I got there, it was my freshman year, and I went with some of my friends. We went to the pizza spot, and I pull up and I'm there and I'm ordering, and I hear someone say my name behind me, and I turn around, and it's Coach Smith. He was sitting at the booth with his kids, just drinking a beer, eating pizza.
So he loves pizza.
He loves pizza. Yeah.
That must be it. Man, that's
That's pretty funny.
That is. Okay, so pro day, you're feeling good after pro day. And you said that's end of March, right? That's when you did your pro day, end of March?
Yep, end of March.
And then draft is May. Yeah, because then you came on here a few days after you got drafted.
Yep, I got drafted. You want to talk about draft day?
Your dad was excited.
Oh my gosh, my dad just told me, like, I was talking to my dad, like, he's like, I can't even imagine how you feel, because I'm just so nervous right now. And I was just like, so I started watching. I didn't even watch the first day of the draft, 'cause I knew I was going to be a first round pick. So I was like, whatever. So I started watching day 2 because I knew there was a chance I could go in the 3rd round. And I was hoping, I was like, please, 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 someone pick it. Let me hear my name called to this round. But so I'm watching it the whole way through, literally just like my phone right here, like every 2 minutes, like going to the bathroom, like taking my phone with me, like I can't miss this call, like it's coming. So I ended up not getting called. Not getting called that day. But that day 3 of the draft, I was like, okay, if I'm going to get called, like definitely it's going to be today. Like this is the last rounds. So I went over to my grandpa's house, and it was me, my grandpa, my grandma, basically my whole family was there. Like everyone was there. That is really important to me. My girlfriend was there. And I'm literally like, my phone is sitting right here, and I'm just like sitting here, just like watching, like sweating, like every time I hear a name called, I'm like, God, come on. Like I'm starting to hear like I see a long snapper drafted, and I'm like, come on, man. Long snappers getting drafted before me. And I was like, I just looking at the phone, like literally going to I'm going to the bathroom like every minute. Like I'm leaving back and forth, like taking my phone. Like when I go to the bathroom, I just put my phone like right on top of the toilet, just looking at the screen, peeing, go back out, go back, sit down. It's like, I was just so nervous the whole time. Then once I got the call, obviously, I was just so excited.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you one thing that anyone on the other end of the phone said.
You just blacked out?
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you who answered the phone, like who was calling me. But
how many times did the phone ring before you answered it?
Maybe once.
Okay. So you didn't try to play it too cool?
No. No way, man.
Right here.
As soon as I think on day 2, the day before I got drafted, someone actually called me like while I was watching the draft, can't remember who it was. I think it might have been one of my friends or something. They called me and I answered it. I answered the phone. I was like, dude, don't call me, man. Why did you just call me? And, I didn't let it ring. As soon as when it popped up, it said Houston, Texas, and Houston was on the clock.
Okay.
So I was like,
okay,
pick that right up. Yeah. But it sucks because like every name you hear called, that's less money you're making. So it's like every name you hear called, you're like, dang. I mean, the third round is a lot different than the fifth round.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, so that's why you're nervous. You're like, oh man, like I don't want to fall too much further here.
Yeah.
But good experience all in all. I mean, once you get now that I'm in the NFL, like it doesn't matter. Like
right. So how do rookie deals? Is every rookie is there a standard rookie deal, or are the guys that were drafted early on are they making a lot more, or are they making more because of like a bonus? Or
yeah, in total they make a lot more, but it's because the salary, like the salary for the season, that is the same for every rookie that's on the 53-man roster.
Okay.
So if you make the 53-man roster and you're a rookie, it's your first year, you're making the same as the number one pick.
Okay.
The salary. But the difference is if you're undrafted, your signing bonus was maybe like $20,000, $5,000. I know some guys are $5,000 signing bonus.
Okay.
And the number one pick is going to be like $25 million.
Oh, okay.
So that, you know,
okay.
like that's where they make up the difference.
Okay.
Is the signing bonus.
Okay.
But that salary, that like yearly salary is the same.
And for how long is that rookie deal?
If you're drafted, it's 4 years, and if you're undrafted, it's 3.
Okay. So everyone that came in with you this rookie season, they all are in a 4-year.
No, some undrafted guys there were some undrafted guys that made the 53 and they're in a 3-year.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
But that can't change. You're in a 4-year contract.
I'm in a 4-year contract, yeah.
And then that's where if you perform these next 4 years or whatever, that's where the bump can be.
Then you sign your second contract.
Okay.
So that's like second contract is like the most important. Like your second multi-year contract is like the most important contract that everyone's trying to get. Like everyone in the NFL is fighting to get that second contract.
Gotcha.
So that's like the most important thing because that's like life changing.
Yeah.
You know, like when you get into the league, you're like, okay, like this can last me a little bit. You know, like this can last me a little. If I stop working for a while, this could last me a little bit. But you make that second contract, and if you get like a multi-year, like big second contract, that's like I can change the generation, like I can generationally change my family. Like I'll be able to set my kids up to like, you know, have a really good life. Yeah. So that's what everyone's fighting for.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause the rookie deal is like $1 million a year, right? That's like, is that like this salary or a little bit under that? Like, is that what?
705.
Okay. But then, you know, you're getting taxed, agents getting their money. Like it's not, you know, it's easy to look at those numbers and go, wow, but there's a lot that gets taken from that.
Yes.
It's still obviously really good money, but not really life-changing money.
Yeah.
Where the second deal,
I mean I guess it is life-changing money, but it's like, it's not like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's not like I could live off this for the rest of my life money.
Right.
You know?
I mean, it changed your life, no question. Like you were a college student, you know, not making money, and then now you're making really good money. But the second deal, I mean, if you do really well,
that's everyone in the NFL. Everyone in the NFL is talking about like, man, I've just got to get to the second contract. I guess got to get to the second contract.
Yeah.
But that's the one you're trying to get to.
Okay. So you get drafted. And then you move to Houston, and
they put me up in a hotel from May until September.
Okay.
So I'm in there. For how long is that? How many months is that?
Yeah. May, June, July, August at 5 months.
Yeah. 5 months. I'm living in a hotel.
Okay.
Which sucked.
Okay.
But it did, but it wasn't too bad because it was a nice hotel. Like,
right.
It's a nice hotel. There's a restaurant down there. It's they come make your bed for you, clean
right.
the room for you. So it's not too bad, but like
it's just not home.
Yeah, it's not like you're in a hotel.
Right.
Like there's no kitchen.
Right.
Like
right.
Not like the parking was sucked. But it wasn't too bad. It was pretty good. And so they put me in there. I get hurt. I hurt my knee. I had some tendonitis issues with my knee that set me out. Like literally right when I got there. Like I remember when I came here the first time, you were talking about how your friend was telling you about rookie minicamp and how he threw up or something like that.
Yes. Yes.
I've never been more tired in my life than when I played in rookie minicamp. It was brutal. You know what the funny part is? It was only like 45 minutes of working out.
Really?
But it is so hot in Houston that like it was probably like 110 degrees and like really humid both days of rookie minicamp, and it was just me. It was only tight ends. It was me and then another undrafted tight end that came in with me. And we were just like running routes, like doing everything, and it was like barely any rest because we would just go boom, you're up, I'm up, you're up, I'm up, you're up, I'm up. And it was just brutal. Like my face, I was just gasping for breath. Like I was at the end of the practice, I was like, wow, I can't believe I barely made it through that. I
can't wait to tell Elvis that. Because I remember last year when you came, Elvis had came the day before, and I had said, hey, Teagan's coming tomorrow, and he got drafted and whatnot, and that was like the major thing. He was like, dude, warn him about the minicamp. That was like the worst, the hardest.
Yeah, it was so hard. I'm sure his was because he was. What year did he play? What year did he get into the league?
Oh man, shoot, I don't even know. 2010, 11?
Yeah,
I don't know, somewhere in
if
there.
It was even that. Like I'm sure his was even harder. Like I've heard some stories. Even guys that were on my team, like their rookie minicamp was like they were doing like team against like defense, like going against. I've heard maybe even some that had pads on. I don't think they had pads on, but they were going team like running plays against defense and stuff. Like that would have been terrible. Like hour and a half practices.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I would have made it through it.
Yeah.
I would have been like, I probably would have, but it would have been a battle. It would have been a dogfight for sure for me to get through an hour and a half practice. It was terrible.
Man, FYI to all the people that are going to those mini camps, bro. Those things are serious.
They're serious. They're serious. And it wasn't even, the funny part is like, it really wasn't even like, it was like 15-minute like warm up and like run around. And then it was like 35-minute indie period, like just individual like position work. And that's all it was. But like, they were obviously making you like run, like you're never walking, like you're always running,
right? Like
doing everything full speed. But it was just so hot and just humid, like I barely breathed. I just felt like I was in an oven. Like it was terrible. It was definitely something I don't want to do again.
Yeah.
Really, that whole process is something that I'm just good leaving in the past. I don't really want to do that ever again. Man.
So you hurt the knee a little bit. Yeah, I remember seeing there were some articles here in Salem that were like, "Oh, Teagan," and I was like, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
And then, so then, kind of, what was that like? I mean, you just rehabbing that thing, or what does that look like?
It sucked, dude. It was like, so I had just it's technically called tendinosis. So it's like the tendon in my knee, this tendon right here, was kind of like degenerating a little bit because I mean I've had like tendonitis off and on, but I never really took great care of it, and so it was the first practice after rookie minicamp when all the vets came back and we were practicing together. I was running a route and I jump up and I feel it like kind of a sharp pain, and then I come down and my knee like buckles, like I almost fall over. And I keep my feet barely, and I like finish the route, and my knee I was like it was really sharp pain, like I could barely bend it. I was like, God damn, like so I was out for actually ended up finishing that practice. I finished the practice, and then the next day I tried to. That whole day after I finished the practice, I actually was doing a bunch of rehab. I got to get this right. I cannot go down right now. And next day I come out and I can barely even move. I can barely get in my 3-point stance. I try to come off the ball and it's just sharp, excruciating pain. I'm like, okay, there's something obviously wrong with this. So I went and got MRIs. They said they had the tendinosis, the tendonitis, whatever. Got PRP shots in. I actually got one right after the season. I got another one. I don't know if you know what PRP is. Mm-mm. It's so they take blood out of your arm and then they spin it and they do something I don't know. I think it separates the white and the red blood cells or something. I don't know exactly. I don't know the exact science of it, but they spin it and then they inject it. They inject it into my tendon, and it facilitates the healing. Oh. So I guess it's supposed to regenerate the part of my tendon that is degenerating. It's supposed to help regenerate that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I got that, and the first time I got it over the they put the PRP over the tendon, they didn't go in it. And I came back, I felt a little bit better, but then I came back, I couldn't really get back to where I needed to be. So then a few months after that, a month or two after that, I went back to the hospital and they did it again, but this time they put it in my tendon. They stuck a needle into the middle of my tendon, which was very unpleasant. But then I ended up came back, and then that took forever to get back. I missed almost all of. I would say I probably came back mid to late August. After that, and then I played in the second preseason. I missed the first preseason game. Missed most of training camp. Came back, played in the second preseason game, and then was playing. I felt pretty good. But then I scored a touchdown in that game.
Yeah.
I caught the ball and I make the first guy miss, and then I dive towards the end zone. When I dived toward the end zone, there was a guy hanging on my leg, and then I was pushing off my leg, my bad leg, and it was just a really bad angle for to put a bunch of pressure on the tendon, because I was diving that way, and it just put all that pressure on it and just rehurt. I rehurt it on that play. I rehurt it, and so then after I scored, I was done for that game for the rest of the game.
Hey, what a play to rehurt it on.
I know.
Rather than if you're just blocking someone and you're like, oh, I hurt my knee.
When I first came back, all my teammates were like, man, you just get hurt, come back and just score touchdowns, huh? Because literally I would get hurt. I come back for the Rams game. I play good. I score a touchdown, get hurt again. I'm out for the next preseason game, the last preseason game, that week before the season. And then I'm out until week 8, because I just wasn't healthy. They didn't want to take a chance on me. They wanted to get me healthy.
Right.
So they put me on IR to begin the season. So then I was out until week 8. I come back week 8 against the Eagles and score another touchdown. And everyone's like, dude, you don't even need to practice, man. You just come back and score a touchdown. I was like, yeah, whatever, man. So then, and then I came back, and then for the rest of the year after that, I was pretty much healthy. I missed another game right at the end because I got a contusion right here on my quad. I just messed my knee up on the other side. But that was just a little bump, but that made me miss one game, and then I came back for the last game of the season and had one of my best games of the year. So
yeah. The Eagles game, for people that don't know, is I'm a big Eagles fan, which we are in the NFC title game. And my dad...
That's legit contenders.
We're pretty good this year. My dad's team, the Cowboys, and my cousin Garrett and my uncle Troy, they're not. They were sending me text messages this last week that said certain things, and their team's out. But anyways, when the day Teag was playing, the Eagles. It was a Thursday night game on freaking Amazon Prime. And I wasn't really thinking about it. And I had texted you randomly. I wasn't even thinking about that you were playing my team. I had just thought about you and thought, let me send you a text, say, hey man, hope things going well. And then you responded. And then a few hours later, my wife is on her phone and goes, Teagan just scored a touchdown against the Eagles. And I was like, what? So we were really excited about that. I thought it was cool that your first touchdown, it was the first, it was like really the first time you were playing in a regular season.
It was the first drive of the game. It was funny because all the betting lines, you know how people bet on the first touchdown of the game?
Yeah.
Well, my name wasn't on there. And it was a Thursday night game, so it was a nationally televised game.
Yep.
So it was a big betting game. And my name wasn't even on the list. So they actually came out with an article that everyone that bet the first touchdown of the game that game all got a refund because
you weren't even an option.
I wasn't even an option. So everyone got their money back. So it was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool.
Daniel, go ahead and put in a clip of that touchdown for YouTube of him against the Eagles right now. We'll throw that in there now. So you score a touchdown first drive, which, I mean, how many NFL players could say that? I mean...
And it was my first catch, too.
First catch, first drive.
First game, first drive, first catch. Yeah. It was I think it was they came out as I was one of two or three players, and I think I was one of two players in Texans history to score a touchdown on their first catch. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I kept the game ball, so I still have the ball that I scored with. Got to deliver that mean spike I've been waiting to do for the whole time. I've been waiting to do for a while. But I got the ball, and my guy Mason Schreck was one of my teammates. We had a Secret Santa in the tight end room, and he got me a big 4 foot tall big painting of me spiking the ball after the touchdown. So it's like a custom painting. Guy actually painted it. It's so sick. I'm gonna show you a picture of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you a picture of it. It was a really cool present. It's me in the red jersey, spiking the ball. It's pretty cool.
I like the red jerseys. That's probably going to be the one I get and then have you sign. Actually, I was looking at jerseys when we were texting 2 days ago, and you said that you'd come through. I was like, man, can I order a jersey and get it here by then? And I couldn't, but I like the red ones.
The red one's cool.
Those are dope. I mean,
I got my red one. I actually have it in Houston in my apartment.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, you know what's funny is you don't know this, but you were the second person that was in this room, and then I got the hat and you signed the hat above my head here. And honestly, the red cables, I started kind of rocking the blue and red when you were in here. I was I kind of like that blue and red. I mean, I wore blue and red today for you.
Yeah. You got the blue wall.
Yeah, exactly.
I like you didn't have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was here last.
Yeah.
That's a nice little addition.
So Zach Stone, who was on here, he brought me those. And so I've started collecting some stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll have to show you the Bat Cave, the Lake Oswego spot. But even up there, I have blue and red lights to kind of keep this theme going down in Salem. But yeah, it was weird, because when I bought some of this stuff, red, and you came and had the hat, and then I was like, I think I'm gonna have the red and white Jordans behind you. I was like, I think I'm gonna stick with the Texan colors.
There we go. I like them too. That's a good color scheme.
Yeah. You kind of had an awesome rookie year. I mean, you were hurt, but it was like your guys are saying, you show up and just score touchdowns. I mean, that has to be. I mean, I guess I'll ask you: was the rookie season not as good as you would have liked, or did it pan out better than you would have? I mean, did you envision yourself catching touchdowns like the first year? Or?
I mean, yeah. I thought I always like, and every time. I mean, even when I went to college, like I always want to play. Like I want to get on the field. So I thought if I was on the field, then yeah, I could score a touchdown. You know, I envisioned scoring touchdowns. So, but it went really well. I just, like I said, I want to play. So I didn't really care like how many. I didn't really care if I caught a ball or not.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to be on the field and playing. So if I had to block power every single play, then I'd be fine with that. Which is kind of I mean, I'm, as you know, like I block a lot as a tight end. So that's kind of something I take a lot of pride in. So it went really well, man. I liked it. I liked the year. You know, it sucked that we didn't win. We didn't win as much as I would want to.
Yeah.
But because you know I'm a competitive guy, man.
Well, I think there's a lot of guys that, like you, which I also want to talk about. Did your basketball, you know, that your experience with hoops? I wanted to ask, did that play into all of like the recruiting and did that matter when you came up in football? Did people ask about, hey, you used to hoop too, you're a really good basketball player? Because at the tight end spot, it seems like there has been previous Tony Gonzalez, other tight ends that they were hoopers too. So I was curious of that, like if that ever got talked about, your basketball background within your footwork. You always had really good footwork for a post guy, stretch four guy. But I'd have to imagine it's difficult for guys like you that always won coming up, like at all the levels. Like you just would win because you're so good. You usually made all the teams you played on good. That would have to be difficult to then go to the highest level and not find that success that you were accustomed to.
Yeah. The thing is, man, I was like you said, yeah, growing up, I won a lot. Like in the Salem area, I won a lot. Like my football teams are always good. Basketball teams are usually good. I mean, but even when I went and played basketball at Sprague, I played varsity my freshman year, and we were terrible. Like I think we won like 3 games. We were like 3-28.
Okay.
Like, we were terrible.
Okay.
But then ended up my senior year, we were number 1 in the state for most of the year. Kind of at the end of the year, kind of broke down, but I mean, we were a really good team. And then I go to Oregon State, and we were terrible my freshman year. My freshman year, we were 2-10. So then 2-10, and then my last year playing was our first. We made it to a bowl game for the first time in like 10 years or something. And now, if I would have stayed one more year, I mean, they just had a crazy season.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of the same thing I've been going through. Is I get there, the team is not having success, and I'm hoping in 3-4 years now we're contenders, you know, which would be ideal.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year we're contenders. I would rather just have next year us be contenders, not 4 years.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a pattern that I've been going through, like my whole sports career is like I get to a place, it's not having a lot of success, except for football. When I played football in high school, we were always good. But like, I get to a place, we're not having much success, and then a few years later, we build like the right culture, the right mindset, and we're just gelling better. Yeah, which is what we're hoping to do in Houston too, man. I mean, I like it there, and I want to stay there. So yeah, I like doing that. I like turning stuff around, leaving places better than how I found it.
Yeah, that's a great thing to do in life. Mm-hmm. What would Teagan now say to Teagan last time you were here, before you were actually in Houston? Is there any advice, or is there anything that stands out that would be like, man, if I could have told myself that? Or I'm just curious, like what that first season, is there anything where
I'd probably tell him just like calm down. Like especially like when I got hurt, like I didn't know, like I was so many things were going through my head. Like I didn't know, like, cause I wasn't established. So I didn't know hadn't proved myself at all. So like all I was thinking in my head was like, can I play at this level? Like, do the people think that I can play at this level? Do my peers think I can play at this level? Does the front office think I can play at this level? Like, how much time are they going to give me? Like, there was guys that came with me that got cut day after we showed up. So I'm like, man, this is cutthroat.
Yeah.
I just need to get on the field and prove that I can do this. But it's like, well, I mean, when you're hurt and you're not playing and you're a rookie and you haven't done anything, it's like all your teammates are like, okay, like they're kind of feeling you out. Like, yeah, he's a cool dude, but I mean, is he like a baller? You know,
right.
Like, can he play?
Right.
And so that was hard because I couldn't prove anything, and like, you know, people were doing good, and I'm just like sitting over there, just like watching, and people in my position group are like making plays, and I'm just like, dang, like I want to play this year. But the guys in my position group were awesome. Like I like all of them. They were really helpful for me the first year, and
yeah.
But I was like, man, I still want to play. Like I love those guys, but I still want to play. I don't want them playing over me.
Yeah.
So that was really hard. I would tell them like, just chill, like get right, man. Like it'll be fine. You just get your body right and just calm down. Because I feel like a lot of times I was just like on edge because I was so nervous and so nervous and like stressed out about like things that I couldn't control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, man, I appreciate you coming by. It's neat for me to watch you from a distance and cheer you on and see the success, live a little bit vicariously through you. But yeah, I appreciate you taking the time and coming up here. And
of course, man.
Man, I will get to one of your games this next season.
Nice.
For sure.
I'll get you a ticket.
Yeah. Definitely want to come in person. And I don't think I've been to an NFL football game now that I think about it.
You got to make it out. It's pretty cool. I mean, we played in the Cowboy Stadium, and it was a close game. And it was packed. It was crazy. I mean,
it was a close game, and I wanted you guys to win so bad because I was talking trash to my dad and my cousin.
Everyone was waving the white towels. It was like a whiteout. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was a pretty cool experience being in there for that game. Man, we should have won that one.
You should have won that one. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Actually, after we're done with this, I'll show you a text message from that game that I was talking to them. Because I had said, I'm like, hey, I know that guy that's playing in that game.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I appreciate you coming by, and we'll check back in maybe after this next season. Once you're all pro tight end.
If only. We can only hope, huh?
Man. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Well, thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. Appreciate it.